Alright guys, we are here today. We got the Jolts report coming out today. It's expected at 7.7 million. Last time it showed 7.7 million as well, I think. And then I think we got ISM services. Yeah. ISM service expected at 53.4%. We got that number and the expected numbers right here. I completely forgot about the again, I completely forgot about the Nvidia conference. Looks like Nvidia's loving life right now though. Look at this. I completely forgot about the Nvidia conference. Yeah, I completely forgot about it, man. Again, today's my son's birthday, and so I was trying to hang out with him last night and plan everything, and it was late. It's at like 9 o'clock my time, right? So the event was at 9 o'clock my time, so it was just late, to be honest, man. And it just slipped my mind. Ugh. Yeah. If there was anything for my channel to miss, that was it, though, because it was late. Not something I usually cover, so it's all good. It happens. All right, guys. Yeah, so let's talk about what they did during the Nvidia conference. All right, so during the Nvidia keynote speech last night, they announced the RTX 50 series GPUs. If you don't know what GPUs is, it's graphics processing units, right? So this is just how well they handle graphics. Basically, they process graphics. Nvidia launched the GeForce RTX 50 series GPUs, which are now built on the new Blackwell architecture, promising big advancements in AI-driven rendering performance. The RTX 5090 features 32 gigs of GDDR7 memory and 21,760 CUDA CUDA cores, priced at almost $2,000, available January 30th. RTX 5080 is now priced at about $1,000, available January 30th. RTX 5070 Ti priced at $750, available in February. RTX 5070 priced at $549, available in February. DLSS4 Tech, the new DLSS4 leverages AI to predict and generate additional frames, enhancing performance and visuals. We had Project Digits, which is a personal AI supercomputer. Nvidia introduced Project Digits, again a high-end PC based on the Blackwell superchip. It's now designed for AI researchers and enthusiasts. I'm going to put something else up for now and then put Nvidia back up so it stops blinking. It's a high-end PC based Blackwell superchips designed for AI researchers and enthusiasts. So the Project Digits is going to be like a AI computer PC. It's going to start at $3,000 and available in May. So it's going to be starting at $3,000, available in May. High-end AI computer. Cosmos computing program and platform. AI development for robotics and autonomous vehicles. Nvidia is launching Cosmos, and a platform aimed at developing next-generation autonomous vehicles and robots using synthetic data. Uber is among the early adopters of this technology, and I think that's a very good sign that Uber's getting involved with this early. I think Uber needs to recognize, I said this before, I said this during one of Tesla's events, but I still believe it's very true, which is that the future of ride sharing is self-driving, right? And if Uber and Lyft are not careful, they're going to be completely replaced by full self-driving. I think they're already recognizing the threat in something like the robo-taxi from Tesla. That has the capability or the possibility of completely replacing Uber. It just can't, right? Like, eventually cars are going to drive themselves. You see things like Waymo already that are just fully autonomous driving vehicles. A little bit different technology with Waymo and stuff like that, but they drive themselves. We had somebody from San Francisco come here and stay at my house, and they were telling us about Waymos where they could basically get a ride anywhere. You don't have to tip the driver. It's just a freaking car, right? You don't have to tip the driver. It saves you money, like, in a big way, and I think that type of thing, it's a little bit different technology. I don't think that type of technology is the future, but I think full self-driving is, and I think eventually it's going to replace Uber, Lyft, and all that stuff, and I think that's very obvious. It's a very self-evident thing that it's going to replace those things. So it's good to see Uber working with them, because that makes me a little bit more optimistic around Uber, to be honest. Anyways, they also have the agentic AI blueprints. Nvidia unveiled the agentic AI blueprints, providing tools for enterprises to automate tasks, enhance operational efficiency, including converting PDFs to audio and other AI-driven functionalities. Automotive partnerships. So Nvidia announced partnerships with companies like Toyota, Aurora, Continental to develop vehicles equipped with Nvidia's AI tech, emphasizing advancements in autonomous driving and smart vehicle systems. So far, Nvidia's stock experienced a notable increase. You can see it is currently at 153s right now, reflecting strong market confidence in this. The developments highlight Nvidia's commitment to advancing AI and computer tech across industries, reinforcing position as a leader in the tech sector. So that's basically everything that came out during the keynote speech. Nvidia, again, looking great this morning. If you look at like the QQQ, Bitcoin over 100K, the Q is not really reacting much to it, which is interesting. Like the Q is up some, but not really the big gain that you want to see in sympathy from Nvidia's big bullish action here. So is my video missing its thumbnail? It shouldn't be. Here, let me look. I added a thumbnail to it. It's weird. Here, I'll fix it. See, it's not missing its thumbnail. For some reason, the thumbnail is just not showing up. Like, look. I need to do a new description, it looks like. So it's got a thumbnail. But for some people, it's just not showing up. I'm not sure why. Here, let me try to fix this. I will change it. Alright, so I resaved the thumbnail. But for some reason, it's just not saving well here. Okay, yeah. I mean, I saved it. It should be better now. Let me see. Morning, John and friends. What's up, Freddie? Good morning, Coffee, Faye, Chris, Andrew, Ed, Sam, Blaze, Max, Tobias, Ed, Lissandro, Keegan, Phil, Demetrius, Peter, Bub, Sharm, Biggie, Corey, S'more, Alex, Harris, Ray, Douglas, Justin, MK. Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good. Yeah, we got the Jolts report today, man. That's the big report. It's coming out at 10. Look at this mug my wife got me. You see this mug? Look, let me show you. You see this mug? It says, I'm not, it might look like I'm listening, but in my head, I'm doing jujitsu. Shout out to my wife, Carol. No. Honestly, I was at jujitsu last night. Listen to this story. I'm at jujitsu last night. And my wife, like, she makes me drink out of these big glass jugs. Like, they literally look like moonshine jugs. Like, they're this big, right? And because she doesn't want me drinking out of plastic because she thinks plastic's bad, right? So she's, like, pressuring me to drink out of glass. And so every day at jiu-jitsu, I bring this huge, like, gallon glass, like, Pyrex-looking jug. Yesterday, I dropped it. I didn't drop it from, like, standing to where it was a psh. I just kind of, like, dropped it maybe, like, an inch. And, dude, that thing shattered completely. On the floor, on the carpet. There was, like, 40 people there. They all stopped and looked at me. You know, and I had to be like, oh man, my mug. Never again. I'm never bringing a glass mug. I'm gonna get like a metal mug. I think is the future. Like, let me see if I can find a picture of this mug that I had. It might be multi-gallon. This is what it is right here. This is it. Right here. This is the same mug. Right? And it's huge, right? Like this thing when it's full, I can lift weights with this thing when it's full. But man, freaking mess, dude. And there were kids running around and stuff. I had to be like, y'all don't come over here. Yeah, I don't know how many times I've walked in there and they're like, hey, bro, what's in your jug, dude? You know, and I have to be like, it's not alcohol. It's water. My wife's crazy, you know. I love her, but she's crazy, you know. Oh, yeah, no, I fill it up less times. The only problem is when you drop it. And when you drop it and it shatters. You know, glass and jiu-jitsu are not really, like, cohesive, you know. Yeah, wasn't good. All right, guys. Hey, the Jolts report today. It's actually a really busy week. We got stuff going on every day. Today's my son's birthday. He's 11. So shout out to my son, Jack. Born 11 years ago today. Good kid. Smart kid. Yeah. 3 inches of styrofoam? Nah. I'm just gonna get like a big metal jar or something. 1 Bitcoin? Yeah, I got both my kids their big gifts already. Both of them got laptops. Different laptops. I got my son a Republic of Gamers. Actually a better laptop. It's smaller, but it's better. It's a ROG, Ryzen 9 processor. Super good graphics card, like just a better laptop. And then I got my daughter a Republic or an Alienware. A little bit larger, a little bit worse computer, but a little bit larger. So I already got them their big gifts. So we got them some small stuff. He'll appreciate it. Let me do a poll number today. So let's do a poll here. Right, for sure. I'm sure that's what everybody said, Mars, when I walked in, dude. I'm sure that's what everybody said. Alright. Let's do a poll. Well, today's Jolts report. Cause bullish or bearish market reactions. That's probably the best option. No, it's pretty fair. Yeah, Alienwares are great computers. My last computer here was an Alienware, but this one that I currently have is a ROG. They're both good computers. My son's was more expensive, even though it was smaller. It is because it's got a Ryzen 9 processor. They're both good computers, though. My son has 2 terabytes of storage. My daughter's doesn't. My son's has 32 gigs of RAM. My daughter's doesn't. My daughter has like 16 or 15. So, I mean, my son's is a more expensive, better computer. Nobody's going to correct me today. Listen, I'm surprised nobody fixed this. I put the Jolts report at the top. There's no J. I thought better of you guys, man. Y'all would remind me of this here. Come on now. It said the Jolts report all morning. Nobody corrected me here. I'm a little disappointed in you guys. Have you tried good laptops? Yeah, my last laptop that I bought like 4 years ago was a Lenovo Legion. At the time, very good laptop, And I told my kids, I was like, look, I'm going to buy you both a different laptop because I think I'm okay with investing into their future of like technology. I think if they want to have an edge in anything, they need to learn computers. And so I was okay with buying them this. But I told him, I was like, if I ever travel, I'm going to use one of your laptops for work. And we don't travel that much. So like, a couple weeks out of the year, I can use either one of these if I choose to. And that's one of the conditions I'm buying it for you. And they were both okay with it, Yeah. We can't read. No. Yeah, I love Lenovo's. Lenovo's are great computers, man. My last one was a Legion. Good computer. I bought it like 5 years ago. I remember when I bought that computer, I was like celebrating success of my YouTube channel, right? Like this was like 5 years ago. This was right in like 2021, to be honest. So it was like 4.5 years ago I bought that laptop. AMC GameStop had taken off. My channel started to earn money, right? And I remember getting like a really nice monthly check and being super excited about it. And the check at the time was like, I'm not going to be too specific, but it was over $10K for a month, right? And I was super pumped about it, and I got excited and bought that laptop. I ordered it online. I went and picked it up at Best Buy. And I set that laptop up, and it was like a gift to myself from it. But at this point in time, that laptop still holds up. Like, I can still stream on that laptop if I want to. It's almost 5 years old. I can still stream on it if I want to. And so, good laptop, honestly. It's pretty slow nowadays, though, versus, like, if I put up one of my daughter's or my son's computers, you know, it's not nearly as fast, but still a good computer. Still can hold up and still has, I think I put some RAM sticks in it. I think it has, like, 64 gigs of RAM now, so. I cried yesterday because you did not cover Nvidia. I know, I'm sorry, guys. Listen. I'm usually on point. To be honest, I would love to give some excuse. I completely forgot about it. And I was kind of pissed when I figured it, when I remembered. Right? I don't think I looked and nobody was really getting crazy numbers for it, so maybe it was for the best. It was just late. Like, them doing it at freaking 9 o'clock at night. I mean, dude, I got kids, man. You know? Like, I'll cover it next time, but I just forgot. To be honest. I just straight up forgot. And usually I'm a one-man show over here outside of Pawn, and I just forgot. Pawn messaged me, but I just, to be honest, I was at jiu-jitsu until like 7 o'clock, 7:30, and then I came home, and my son's birthday's tomorrow, so my wife and I were doing some last-minute like planning. I just forgot. Markets are up though from it today though. Look at Nvidia, man. It's actually helping markets right now. But, dude, I bought Pepsi yesterday, and it just dumped after I bought it yesterday. I'll probably add some more to it, to be honest, but I'm going to add one more, like, 10-share position to Pepsi, and then I'm just not touching it. Just because it's down enough, I could probably start to slowly add to this thing over time. On big drops, I don't mind adding to it and just looking for a rebound here, and I think I'm going to add another 10 to this. Right. Alright, we just added another 10 to this. To Pepsi. We're going to leave it at that now. Pepsi's had a red year. A red couple years. So I think now, if we're going to buy it, now's the time. Yeah. Yeah, it's all good, Faye. Next time. We'll be here all this week, you know. We'll be on Top Step TV today. And then we also have the Jolts report at 10 a.m. today. ISM services PMI at 10 today. Tomorrow we have a whole gang of stuff. We got non-farm employment, jobless claims numbers. We have the Fed minutes report at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Thursday, the whole market's closed, which I'm honestly looking forward to. And then Friday, non-farm payrolls and unemployment data. So it's a busy week, to be honest. Every time you say jits, you makes me want to train again. Jiu-jitsu is so much fun, dude. I see a bunch of people that don't normally stream that stuff try to stream it as soon as they realize I'm not. You know? And so that's actually a good feeling to know that, like, I'm that competitive with it that they see me not streaming and they hurry up and try to stream it. And half the time it doesn't work anyway, you know, so. People don't drink pop. Oh man, we got a Yankee in our midst here, you know. Now my stepdad was Canadian. He always said pop. I'm from the South, so we just call everything Coke. Yeah, I think Gen Z mostly. I mean, let me see the age. Yeah, so Gen Z is like my daughter. My son is not Gen Z, but 97. You got some older Gen Zers. All right, guys, so we're up a lot today. Let's take a look at the stock news of the day, too. Obviously, Nvidia's big thing is today. Let's do this again. We're going to talk about the biggest stories of the day outside of Nvidia. Again, Nvidia debuting a lot of stuff. I'm kind of excited for their AI computer. Again, Nvidia stock is up over 3%. Over 150s this morning. I think it's well over 3%, to be honest. Jensen Huang's keynote CES 2025 speech. Micron is up 4% or more after being mentioned by Nvidia CEO during the CES address. Uber is collaborating with Nvidia, so if we take a look at Uber, Uber's gapping up on this news here as well, so they're having a positive reaction for sure. Fubo TV stock spikes 251% following a merger announcement with Hulu and Live TV. So Fubo up big now to $5. Carvana shares are up 4% after an upgrade by RBC Capital. Getty Images and Shutterstock merger. So Getty Images is up 91% after announcing a merger with Shutterstock, which also rose 37%, indicating consolidation in the stock photo industry. Inari Medical increased 21% after Stryker agreed to acquire it for $80 per share, highlighting continued M&A activity in the medical sector. Ulta Beauty CEO retirement. So the Ulta Beauty was up 1.9% following the announcement of CEO Dave Kimball's retirement and updated fourth quarter sales guidance, indicating a smooth leadership transition. Palantir Tech is on a downgrade. They fell over 1% for PLTR after getting downgraded in pre-market trading after analysts issued an underweight rating reflecting concerns over its valuation and growth prospects. We have Smithfield Food IPO filing. So Smithfield Foods made public its documentation for an initial public offering in New York, prepping its return to the U.S. stock market after more than a decade. Global market movements. So European benchmarks declined. Asian markets showed mixed results. Japan's Nikkei 225 rose nearly 2% due to optimism in tech shares, where Nvidia had their CES conference, probably causing the Nikkei to go up at least a little bit in sympathy. Hong Kong's Hang Seng fell about 1.2% amid U.S. sanctions against Tencent. U.S. Steel legal action. So U.S. Steel stock jumped 8.1% after the company in Japan's Nippon Steel filed lawsuits challenging the current president's move to block their $14.1 billion deal, highlighting tensions in international trade. Discussions about the increasing concentration in the U.S. stock markets, a few tech giants holding big market capitalization, and that's rising, raising questions about stability and diversity in the U.S. market. Basically, it's up too much is what people are saying. I don't know. Predictions for 2025. Ruchir Sharma of Rockefeller predicts that the U.S. stock market boom may end in 25 due to concerns over rising deficits and unsustainable stock rallies is what I'm seeing right now. So that's some of the big news today so far. Again, the whole market is kind of reeling from the CES event is what this is. Like, the whole market's reeling from the CES event. It's a big event. Tupac Shakur. I like it. I was hoping for a January correction, but it seems like a bullish month. Your opinion, John? Well, in January, we have what's called the January effect. And again, I don't know what the heck we're going to do. Like, I don't know whether we're going to go up, down, or sideways. Like, just me implying that it's possible for us to get a January effect does not mean I'm saying it's probable or likely. But we do have something called a January effect. And that typically means that markets go up in rebounding action from, like, tax harvesting and stuff like that. Like, that happens in December, and so sometimes we get rebounds in January. All right, guys. All right, guys. So, looking at our poll numbers, about 70% of people are bullish on the Jolts report. Again, it's expected at 7.7 million. At 10 a.m., we also have ISM services PMI data. Yeah, I mean, I'm much better at, like, dieting my kids than my parents were to me. Like, I remember having sodas all the time as a kid. Now, maybe it's just in my head, but I remember drinking sodas all the time as a kid. My kids almost never get it, right? Especially not like Coca-Cola with caffeine in it and stuff like that. Like, we almost never give them that. Usually we make my son drink water. He can't have many desserts. He doesn't eat many processed sugars. We just try to keep him healthy. You know, I'm not saying he eats perfectly healthy. Like, there's times when he's grabbing snacks and he usually opts for sweet stuff. But it's usually like fruit bars and stuff like that. So it's not the worst. 200 a day. Yeah, 200 a day is not bad. Yeah, no, we drink kombucha here. Right, 100%. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't drink alcohol. I mean, I don't drink alcohol enough to where it's to the point where if I drink alcohol, my daughter gets weird with me. Like, I had 2 beers on New Year's, and she, like, got upset with me about it. Right, and I never drink ever. Like, I never drink, but it's New Year's Eve. You know, we're in Disney World. I mean, you know, we're gonna. And she, like, I wasn't drunk at all. Like, I was completely sober, and like she doesn't like alcohol enough to where, and I never drink, and I'm always sober, to where when I have a beer, she's like, she doesn't know what to do. You know, she kind of panicked a little bit. I had to have a talk with her about, hey, look, like, I know I'm always sober, but like, on very special occasions, I'm allowed to do this. We're at Disney World, like, you'll be okay. And she understood, but that's how little I drink. Like, I never drink to the point where if I do drink, it like shocks my daughter enough to where she kind of panics. Right. My son pressures for Sprite, but we don't ever let him have it. Never caffeine though. We don't want to stun his growth. Yeah, where's gold at? Again, we added a little bit to our Pepsi position here. Gold, man. Wow, I didn't even look at gold today. Look at gold on the right side, chat. Gold up to 2670s. Yeah, look at gold, man. Wow. There's a 5-minute chart. Look at a 1-minute chart here. That's a move for gold. It's making its bounce back here. Good for it, man. Silver. What is silver? Isn't silver SI? Yeah. Silver's pumping up too. Looks good. Also, guys, again, we're going to be day trading on TopStepX today. We made more than $100 yesterday day trading. There's no PDT in futures, and so if you want to day trade with us, here is basically our stats over the last 2 days. We're slowly, methodically building up profit and cushion here, and so you can kind of see our stats. If you want me to zoom in real quick, I can, but these are our stats: green, green, red, red, green, 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 red, green, 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 green. So we did pretty well yesterday and the day before in our trading. And again, the big edge here, like TopStep gives you a demo. So they give you a demo. They test your skill with it first. So they give you a 50K demo. They test your skill with it. Just taking this challenge builds your skill, teaches you how to trade under pressure, and your risk is limited versus funding your own account thousands of dollars and risking that. And so they give you a 50K demo. If you can make 3K in profit without losing 2K first, following their rules, they fund you 50K, 90% split, and you get to keep your first 10K. So that's very similar to funding your own account. 90% split is similar to 100%. You get to keep your first 10K, but if you fail, you only lose $49 for the base one. Very limited risk. Perfect mix of like some pressure, teaches you how to trade, you're risking something, but if you fail, it's not the end of the world, and if you pass it, it's similar to funding your own account. And if you do sign up to this in the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold. Patterns are super similar to blue chip stock patterns, and if you use TopStepX, it's the biggest edge in funding. You can use micros, and there's no commissions, right? So I can trade multiple micro contracts, 0 commissions, and that's a huge edge because that means I can scale into trades. I can do stuff like that. I can take small size and slowly average into stuff or average out of stuff, and commissions aren't going to destroy it. So I can make $9, $8, $12 and still net profit. That's a big edge. And if you want to check it out, sign up to TopStepX when you sign up. That's the big edge platform. If you want to check it out, here's the link. As an experienced parent, please don't be naive when it comes to your children. Oh no, my wife and I are certainly not. My kids have been very good kids, but we drug test them, alcohol test them, nicotine test them. Like they're not, like they haven't even really done anything that makes us want to do that. We just know how it goes, right? Like I was young. We're younger than a lot of their friends' parents. A lot of their friends' parents are in their late 40s. You know, we're in our early mid 30s. So we know more than most parents do in that regard. And I remember something that helped me growing up was my parents used to drug test me. And it certainly absolutely stopped me from doing things I shouldn't, right? Knowing in the back of my mind, hey, my parents might test me. The fear that gave me kept me from doing a lot of dumb stuff growing up. And so we took the same mindset with them. We're never mean to them about it. We're always really nice and sweet to them about it. And they've always made good decisions there. But yeah, we're not naive in that regard. We know. And the good thing is, like, our kids talk to us about it. Like, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, once they're adults, they can do whatever they want. But when they're living in my house, you know. Well, I mean, no, I don't think it's degrading. I think it's just precautionary. It's not like we do it all the time, but we'll randomly hit them with one after they go out with friends or something like that. Just my daughter, not my son. My daughter's 15, so, you know. But it's certainly not all the time. It's enough to where she knows that we could hit her with one randomly anytime. And she's told us she's afraid of getting, like, you know, so. But everybody's different. Does Nvidia pop or drop? Nvidia's up a lot today. It's very green on the day. And really, it's very green over the last few days. It pushed up a lot yesterday in preparation for this event, the CES 2025 event. It pushed up a lot then. And it's at 152s. But no, my kids are good kids. They really are. Like, my daughter's a good kid. Like, she seems to make good decisions. And she's a good person, right? Like, I'm not going to go too into detail. We've met kids that aren't good people, that are just terrible people, that are horrible to people that are good to them, and just, you know, usually it stems from parent problems. Like, the real issue is the parents there. But she's a good kid, you know. Yeah, so again, Nvidia bouncing right at that 200 exponential VWAP level. So you can kind of see we got that 200 exponential VWAP level. We're bouncing a little bit. Here's the volume weighted average price right here. You can see we bounced literally directly off of that spot. And so that's always a level that I'm watching, especially with like ISM data coming out in about an hour and a half. I'll put a timer up because ISM data is coming out soon. Yeah, so we got about an hour and 29 minutes. Look at that bounce on Nvidia, though, back up to 153s. We're watching the Q. The Q's kind of flat, like surprisingly flat here. All right, so we got this clock. This clock is actually pretty accurate. So this timer is actually pretty accurate. So we'll stick it right here, or we'll stick it right here next to me. That's when the timer. That's when the Jolts report goes live. Yeah. John, according to you, what is the most important day in the next few weeks in terms of possible volatility? I would say, I mean, it depends on how long the next few weeks are. Do you mean the next 2 weeks? That's probably this Friday. Non-farm payrolls, unemployment data. You know, outside of that, we have earnings season coming out at the end of this month, really, is when big boys drop earnings, right? So we have earnings season coming out. We've got like Tesla earnings on the 29th. We've got, let's see. Yeah, at the end of this month is when all the big boys drop their earnings. Starting on the 27th, we've got SoFi, AT&T, Procter, or Bank of Maine, Bank 7. GM, Lockheed Martin. I'm looking at confirmed dates. Procter & Gamble, ASML, Teva. All right, yeah, we got Tesla confirmed for Wednesday, January 29th. We have a couple other small ones. We got Apple confirmed for January 30th. Apple confirmed for January 30th. And I think early February we got some stuff too. Yeah, February 4th, PayPal, Spotify, Pfizer, Disney. I don't think Amazon's confirmed their earnings yet. Yeah. All right. So yeah, we got some stuff dropping in the next few weeks. Apple, Amazon earnings, stuff like that. Big tech earnings. Nvidia earnings is kind of the king one though. It's been like that. That's gonna drop mid next month for in February. Hey, thank you, Matitudes. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, sir. Yeah, man. Thanks so much. We got about 700 people here, so that's a nice little bump up. I think everybody's mad I missed the CES show. But I appreciate you, Matt. Thank you, brother. I learned with middle-born children Yeah, that's pretty accurate, comma. So like my daughter, very good kid. Yeah, very motherly. Kind of looks after my son. You know, we don't pressure her to, but she loves him. She's older than him. She saw him grow up from like a little baby, right? So she wants to take care of him as kind of like his watcher, kind of like, you know, look after him. Just a good kid though. Just a good kid. My son is definitely a wild child. He's kind of a little spazzy, but a good kid nonetheless. Like I've said it before, I'll say it again. Empathy is important, right? So you just want to make sure your kids have empathy. And again, both my kids show empathy in good ways, right? They care about other people. Doesn't mean they're perfect, but they show empathy for other people, even if it gets them in trouble. And you know, yeah. Hey, good luck, Matt. A lot of times. Is any data gonna save Tesla? Earnings is what you want to look at, right? Like Tesla had disappointing delivery numbers. So let's take a look at Tesla here. We looked at silver. Tesla down to 400s. Tesla had disappointing delivery numbers, and that's what sparked this downfall here. The delivery numbers came out here, and they kind of rebounded some from it. They're still over 400, but they're still kind of reeling from that. Like they dropped, they bounced back, and then they dipped again. We'll see what happens. You know, the robotaxi. I think Tesla's a long-term bet. I think if you're gonna make money on it, you gotta be long-term with it. You know. Yeah. Tesla going back to 250 if earnings are bad. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think long-term Tesla's fine. Short-term, who freaking knows what's going to happen to it. Where's Bitcoin at right now? So there's Tesla. What the heck is this, man? This song pops up. I wish I could remove this from my list. What the heck is this? Honestly, I muted it so you guys wouldn't be subjected to it. Listen to the song, guys. Just listen to how crazy this song is. Like, they're nowhere. I was hoping this was just like the introduction and maybe later on in the song it was better. But listen to the song. Who in the world would think this is good music? Oh my gosh, dude. It gives me a headache just listening to it. I need this calm music afterwards because, man. No. Is Tesla earnings on the same day as rate decisions? Let me see. So the next rate decision, the Fed minutes report is on Wednesday. I don't think so. The Tesla, no. So I don't think so. So Tesla earnings are going to be 3 weeks. Actually, it kind of lines up. 1, 2, 3. It does kind of line up. The next FOMC meeting is going to be January 28th and 29th, and then Tesla earnings are going to be yes. So Tesla earnings are going to be, that is the most volatile day coming up, is the 29th of January. Without question, that's the most volatile day coming up. So the 29th of January is the FOMC meeting where the Federal Reserve makes their rate decision. They're expecting a pause right now. If we look at the CME watch tool, they are expecting a pause right now. It's in 22 days, in about 3 weeks, right? Because these happen every 3 weeks, right? So every 3 weeks, you'll get either a Fed report or a Fed minutes report or an FOMC decision. And if we look at this here, 90+% chance that we're going to pause rates. So it's very, very, very unlikely that we're going to cut rates this month. It's the first pause after beginning to cut rates late last year. And so, yeah, we are expecting a pause. 91% chance likely of a pause. But not only do we have that decision coming out on the 29th, but we also have Tesla earnings. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have to stream all day that day. We're going to stream the FOMC meeting, and then we'll probably just stick around for Tesla. So we'll stream the FOMC meeting, stick around, pivot to Tesla earnings, cover that, and that'll be the day. It'll be a busy day, but it's going to be volatility coming from that. The Jolts report is a job report. There's no point in looking at the Fed tool because it always changes for what they said. So what's the point? You won't use it for investing. I mean, Craig, listen, brother. If you truly believe that it's useless, you're not paying attention, right, man? So listen, the issue is that people that don't really understand how to read it look at it after some big volatile event, right? Which the percentages and the probabilities are skewed following big volatile events in economics, right? And so what happens is, like, it skews the percentages, and then within the following week or two leading up to the event, it comes back down to normal. Like, listen, these are the current probabilities, but these are absolutely subject to change, right? And you don't really want to use it right now to gauge whether we're going to do a specific thing or not. You want to look at this that day to see what the decisions are going to be, because that specific day, it is incredibly accurate. Right? It hasn't been wrong. If you look at this thing an hour before the Fed meeting, it's going to tell you what's going to happen. And so if you want to know what's going to happen the day of the Fed decision, this is what you look at. It is absolutely going to tell you what's going to happen the day of the Fed decision. The problem is people look at it a month out and they try to use that. Like, dude, things change. Sentiment changes. The Fed's decision-making logic changes, right? Like, if they think they're going to do a specific thing and then they meet and they talk and then they change their minds, and then as well as, like, say you get another Fed speaker that comes out and says, hey, we've talked and now we're going to be a little bit more dovish or a little bit more hawkish or whatever than expected. These things are certainly subject to change. But if you look at it day of, if you look at it like that week, it's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate. If you look at day of, it's almost 100% accurate. So you use it. Yeah, but I mean, that's a broad way. Like, so you're telling me you can't look at something in a few days before the report and use that to guide your trading? It doesn't have to be accurate a month out to be accurate for trading, brother. But and again, it's all love. Like, we can agree to disagree. I think it's incredibly useful. Again, if you want to know what we're gonna do, I've been 100% accurate with Fed decisions over the last year. And so if you want to know what we're going to do, watch my Fed stream. Whenever we stream the Federal Reserve decision an hour or two before the meeting, we'll tell you what's going to happen. Just tune into it, man. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, guys. We appreciate it. I think a lot of us want a correction at this point. However, I think the market is pumping. Maybe. Lately, the most important thing in reports is revisions from previous data. Yeah, I think it's all the caps you're using, Craig, that makes people think you're yelling. In text Discord, if you use all caps, people are going to hear it as, oh, the data is useless. The jobs numbers are all fudged. That's what they're going to hear, brother. And so if you don't want to come across as yelling, just take caps lock off, bro. Hey, I appreciate it, though. Hit the subscribe button. We got the ISM manufacturing PMI and the Jolts report coming soon, chat. 10 a.m. All right, so yeah, we got the Jolts report coming out today. If you're ready for it, guys, we got the Jolts job openings. And then we got ISM services. All right, guys, so we're getting everything ready here. Again, Nvidia is the big volatile thing today. Bitcoin's still over 100K, but still pretty freaking volatile here if we look at a 1-minute chart. Down some today, although up over the last few. Nvidia is still consolidating around that 200 exponential volume weighted average price level. We're going to get ready to day trade like we always do here. See if we can get another green day in the books here. We've been locking ourselves out on Top Step X until the market opened every day, and that's been treating us incredibly well. The market's actually pretty flat. I don't know if it's waiting for the here, I'm gonna put the just a full screen up here while we wait. So here's the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's trying to move. Jolts is always after opening. Jolts is always at 10 a.m. With a 9.1% or with a 91% chance of a rate pause, any data coming up that suggests a possible cut will get priced in immediately. Payroll numbers, unemployment numbers, CPI data next week, maybe PCE data the week after, I think. So we do have 3 weeks of data coming out. And so right now, okay, right now we're expecting a pause. But this is subject to change depending on what the data shows up as, right? And so what I mean by that is that on Friday when we get non-farm payroll numbers, and we also have unemployment on Friday, if those reports show weakness in the economy, like if, so the expected outcome right now for payrolls is 155,000 jobs, right? Let's say that number comes in at 40K, right? That's a very weak labor report, a very, very weak labor report at 40K, right? Let's say that number shows up at 40,000 versus 155,000 expected, showing a very weak labor market. That's probably going to increase the odds of a rate cut. Let's say unemployment spikes, right? Let's say unemployment spikes up to, it's expected at 4.2%. Let's say it comes in at 4.5%, right? That's going to increase the probability that we're going to cut rates. Even though it's still probable that we're going to pause, it's going to increase the likelihood that we're going to cut rates. Let's say CPI data shows up lower than expected, showing less inflation than expected next week, as well as PPI data. Let's say CPI inflation data shows up at 0.1% and 2.4% for core, and regular shows up. Yeah, let's just say they both show up low for December. Market Watch looks like they're showing some weird number. But yeah, let's say they show up low for inflation and inflation looks under control. That increases the likelihood that we're going to cut rates. Why? Because the reason we don't cut rates, right? If it wasn't for inflation, we'd always have low interest rates, because that's a better situation for people with low interest rates. Cheaper access to leverage, cheaper access to money. The economy tends to grow when interest rates are low. And if inflation wasn't an issue, we'd always have low rates, right? So if inflation shows that it's less of an issue, there's more likelihood that we're going to cut rates. If the economy looks weak and inflation's not a problem, it's much more likely that we're going to cut rates, right? It doesn't mean it's likely or probable that we're going to cut rates. It's just more likely or more probable, if that makes sense. And that's the lens you want to look at it under. Inflation next week, guys. So we have inflation dropping next week. Inflation next week is expected. Yeah, so CPI is expected on Wednesday. Yeah, so CPI expected at 2.7% year over year. If it comes in at like 2.4%, it's going to increase the likelihood that we're going to cut. And so, yeah, and then I think we got PCE the following week. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, we're going to have PCE the following week, but I'm not even showing any expectations for that yet. So PCE comes in low. PCE is the preferred inflation metric of the Fed. If that comes in low, it's more likely that we're going to cut. So Jolts, the expected number for Jolts is at the top of the screen right there. Top of the screen. What's the difference between Jolts and Friday's numbers? Again, Jolts job openings is how many jobs are open. It means businesses are hiring more people, and it signals economic growth in that regard for jobs. Friday's report is another job report that looks at payroll numbers. So a little bit different metric, but similar reading. Like it's a similar thing. They're both looking at jobs and labor, and they're both indicating strength or weakness in the economy through jobs, if that makes sense. What do you think about long-term bonds getting hammered? Yeah, I mean, yields go up. Let me see. Yeah, yields getting hammered here. This typically means that, like, typically yields follow interest rates. And so if interest rates go down, yields go down with it. The bond market goes up. The bond prices go up and vice versa, right? If interest rates go up, yields tend to follow it and bond prices go down. And so what this is expecting is that we're going to have higher interest rates, right? And this is what everything's reacting to, because again, in labor market, again, the easiest way to understand it and remember it is that yields and interest rates are going to have a positive correlation most of the time. So if the Fed is expecting to be more hawkish, right, one of the things that you'll see bond prices fall and yields rise, and vice versa, right? And so this is essentially bond market pricing in hawkishness by the Fed is what it looks like to me in bonds. But I might be wrong, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't freaking know. All right, guys, Jolts. We got Jolts coming through today. ISM PMI data. We are going to day trade the open. We'll see if we can get anything good. Get rid of this. We'll get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. All right, chat. So we are here. We're gonna be day trading live today, so be ready. We got the timer right here, so we got about an hour left, chat, about 1 hour left until this big report. You are on point. I think bonds are vital to support the world economy, so maybe one day it may roar. Hey, thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to remember it, man. Like, again, one of the things The Big Short is correct about is about how bankers and finance people put a bunch of big words out there to try to confuse regular, everyday traders, investors, and speculators. And so there's a lot of little, like, tricks to remember it. The easiest way to remember it is that interest rates follow yields, and yields follow interest rates to a certain extent. They have a positive correlation, so yields and interest rates. And then the other key thing to remember is that bond prices and bond yields have an inverse correlation. So if bond prices rise, yields are down. If yields rise, bond prices are down, right? And so that's the easiest way to remember. So if you want to know what yields are doing, what bond prices are doing relative to interest rates, that's the key to it. So basically, if the Fed's going to be more hawkish, meaning higher interest rates, that means yields are going to rise with it, and the prices of the underlying bonds are going to decrease, right? And so it's one of the reasons with a hawkish Fed, what do you see the TLT symbol do? You see it dropping. Why? Because pricing in a more hawkishness in the Fed. And so I hope all that makes sense. What's up, Rojas? Can you leave a short open for like months? I mean, you could. I don't know if you should, but you could. Yeah, gold is crazy today, guys. Bitcoin down a little bit. Nvidia is the one pumping up today, kind of influencing everything, though. I'll be right back. I want to go tell my son happy birthday. I don't think I've told him yet. I'll be back. I'll be back in less than a minute. Chat. I just want to tell my son happy birthday. All right. So I will be right back. Again, I'm going to go tell my son happy birthday. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Honestly, he was still kind of sleeping. I kind of woke him up a little bit, but he'll be all right. All right, we're back. No, this is Top Step X. I'm on Top Step X right now. Has it really had a pullback in 3 hours? Yeah, gold's been absolutely crazy. Yeah, I tend to think a correction is going to happen sometime this year. It's one of the reasons I'm not buying super heavy into anything. But I also think it doesn't have to happen. I think we're at a very unique year with election that just happened, and that causes some moves. And so, yeah, I tend to think we might correct, but I don't think it has to happen either. You know, and again, I've said this once, I'll say it again. I give people credibility when they have that type of mindset, right? Like, you see some people that are just highly emotional. They're emotionally attached to a specific direction in something, and they don't recognize the variance that you get. Like, you're never going to be able to predict anything to a T. And so when people start to get emotional, when I start to just suggest different outcomes, it means they're just really hyper emotional about specific things. Like, I give people credibility if they can recognize the variance and nothing's definitive. Like, nothing has to happen. Like, anything could happen, and people that have the most experience recognize that and understand that anything could freaking happen. We could go up this year, we could go down this year, we could correct, we could crash, we could have a huge bull year. Any of those things are possible, right? And nobody freaking knows what's going to happen. And so people that act like, I don't know how many people I've had be like, we're going to crash this year, we're going to go into a recession this year, blah, 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 right? And then that year, like, people said that about last year, crazy bullish year. People said that about the year before, about a recession and a crash, crazy bullish year, right? And so over time you learn the people who are the most confident about specific directions are usually the most wrong. And it means they have the least amount of experience. And so I guess the overarching point here is don't get too tied to a direction. Anything could freaking happen, and just be prepared for it, because this is the market and there's variance. I'm on just Top Step right now, Jonathan. All right, so we're pushing up towards the top of the range here in the NASDAQ. So we are pushing up towards the top of the range. Let's see if we continue here. There's an activation fee, Aldrin, but I don't think you have to pay $49 a month every month. But check with them, brother. Check with them. Go to the if you want to go to my link here and look up some of that stuff. There's a fact page. Again, it is an affiliate link. I'm biased because I get paid by them. You can see it at the bottom of the screen. You can see it at the top. Like, we're biased. Understand CFTC 4.41. Hypothetical or simulator performance have limitations, guys. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. You always make your own assessment. Trade responsibly, guys. Understand CFTC 4.41. Do not copy me. If you copy me, you might lose. I have no idea what I'm talking about. You want to confirm all this stuff with them. I'm biased. Some of the links are affiliate links, all that good stuff. Understand all these rules. Top 3 worst trader of all time ever. Don't copy me. Nope, I'm not liable if you win either. You can cherry pick data to suit your narrative. I mean, yeah, I don't really have a narrative, man. I think people are just so emotionally tied to, like, wanting to be the next big market crash predictor that when I tell them we don't have to do that, they get mad and kind of emotional about it, right? And they think I'm like a perma bull, when really I'm not. Like, I'm actually kind of bearish this year. I think the market might correct a little bit. I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know when. I know I'll probably try to buy stuff up when it does. But outside of that, I have no freaking idea what's going to happen. I don't even know if that's going to happen, right? I'm just being a little bit more conservative with my investments right now. I'm just not really buying super heavy mania. But hey, maybe the market just rips up in my face. That's possible too. I mean, it's ripping up right now. Mostly driven by Nvidia's strength. Nvidia's at 153. You know, you can see Nvidia on the top of the screen here. You can see the TLT bonds. Gold also up huge. Look at gold. So gold's up big as well. I see that Zuckerberg's adding Dana White to the board of directors at Meta, which is interesting. No, I don't, Jonathan. Definitely top 3 worst predictor in the world right now. If you copy me, you'll probably lose. You know, dude, don't do it. Don't copy me. Yeah, dude, I saw that. I thought that was interesting, man, because, like, okay, so Dana White, I think their political, like, I think their political views differ. And so I think that's a really interesting board ad. Maybe they differ. I don't freaking know, man. I don't know if Mark is changing or what. But, yeah, Dana White getting added to the board of directors at Meta, which is interesting. Very interesting. Right, for sure. I find that very strange as well, Jay. But who knows, man? I mean, I'm okay with people getting along and not being too, like, you know. I'm very neutral politically, but I'm for people getting along about politics, so that's good, I guess. Right, for sure. All right, guys. Less than an hour before the big Jolts report is here. We got over 600 people watching. No, I know. Well, Zuck does BJJ. He does jujitsu, right? He trains like what I train, right? What I train regularly is what he trains. I'm about to get my blue belt, I think, too. My coach has mentioned a couple times. You know, it's time. It's probably time. I mean, I think I'm good. And I know, like, when I roll against other people, if it's another white belt, you know, they're getting beat most of the time. Unless it's one of the 4 people that I train with regularly. 4 of us, we call ourselves the White Belt Avengers. But now JB's a blue belt, which he got his blue belt early because he's a judo black belt. He's this, he's a Korean guy, really nice guy. You know, he doesn't speak great English, but his English has actually gotten much better. Shout out to JB. But he got his blue belt early, so now we're the white belt and 1 blue belt Avengers. But I'm gonna get my blue belt pretty soon. I'm a 4-stripe white belt right now at one of the Gracie gyms, so we'll see if I can get it sometime in the next couple months. Upcoming trade policies and tariffs. Well, yeah, they're thinking the tariffs aren't going to affect the market as much as they thought, right? Like, they came out and said that they're only going to put tariffs on the biggest imports and exports, and so it's not going to be as heavy tariff action as expected. And a lot of people were really pessimistic about the tariffs, thinking it was going to tank the economy. And so with the update on it where they're not going to be as aggressive with tariffs as once expected, that did make the market push up yesterday. And so that was some of the big news that came out yesterday, was the tariff news that the tariffs are going to be a little bit less aggressive than originally thought, and that made more optimism in markets and helped the market push up a little bit leading into Nvidia CES conference last night, which consequently pushed Nvidia and the rest of the market up big today. And so leading into the opening bell today, that's where we're at now. We're at kind of like a mania place in markets where markets are up huge. Nvidia's up big, a lot of optimism. And yeah, we'll see what happens at the opening bell. Test 1 2 1 2. Somebody's asking if I'm muted. Can you not hear me? Mic check 1 2 1 2. Test 1 2 1 2. You should be able to hear me. What about the annexation of Puerto Rico? Football play. Okay, y'all can hear you. Okay, good. All right, cool. All right, guys, we got a couple minutes left until the market open. We got this little dip here, but the market honestly has been very strong. It's too strong for me to want to buy it. And again, I'm going to follow the strategy that I've used the last few days, where I have not day traded until after the opening bell. And that has done me very well, right? But only over the last, couple weeks. We've had 2 green days in a row now since we stopped trading after the open, so. All right, cool. Yeah, so tomorrow we got the FOMC minutes report. I don't know. The FOMC minutes report is going to give us like a update into what they think might happen. And so I don't know what we're going to get from the Fed minutes report. I really don't know. I think it might be good. It might be bad. I don't really know. Yeah, we got this big Jolts job report at 10, so just be ready. Yeah, I don't think VR is going to take over live sports like that. Because I'll put it this way, right? Like, VR is good. I think virtual reality is the future in a lot of ways. But I don't think in terms of live sports. Number one, I get nauseous anytime I use VR headsets. Number one, that's just me maybe, but we already have like the best viewing angles when we watch sports regularly. Like when I watch the UFC, you know, I've always wanted to go to a live UFC event, but I haven't. And the reason I haven't is because I think it's a hard thing for me to pay for really good seats to go watch fights live. Like, it's a hard thing for me to pay for good seats, go watch fights live, spend $1,000 or more, and have a worse view than I would sitting on my couch at home paying $70, right? Like, that's a hard sell for me. And, like, yeah, you can meet the fighters. I don't really care about any of that stuff. So I like watching the fights. I don't necessarily care about meeting the fighters or any of that stuff. And it's more so I'd rather just kind of... It's more so I'd rather watch it from the comfort of my home, relaxed, versus spending $1,000 and having to park and doing all this stuff to go watch it. That's the only reason I like... Football is different. I like watching football and stuff. But with that said, in that context, VR sports seems to make the view worse, not better, right? And I think... we already have the best view possible. So, you know, VR, it just seems a little bit forced there, I think, in sports. It's like sports-wise, I think it's a little forced. Still think VR is the future, just not in sports, I think. Yeah. Last time Powell spoke, yeah, it did scare the markets last time. I remember we did drop a little bit after FOMC. And at the time, people acted like it's the end of the world. Like, one of the things you always see is people are like, yeah, the market's going to crash. And I'm like, no, the market's not. Or I don't even tell them it's not. I just tell them it's a lower probability that we're going to crash. Right? Like, when was the last Fed meeting? It was mid-December. So I'm like, hey, the market's probably not going to crash from the Fed meeting. And people were like, yeah, the market's going to crash, guys. And then, like, we have it. And then we have the Fed meeting, and the market drops, like, a small percentage. The market drops, like, 3%. And they're like, see, I told you. And it's like, the market's down 3%. There's a difference between a 3% drop and a 30% crash. You know? And at this point in time, we're all the way back up, like, to where we were prior to it on the SPY and everything else. So it really goes to show, like, I've said this once, I'll say it again. People with the least amount of experience think we're going to crash every major economic event, right? Every FOMC meeting, every payroll report. If somebody's acting like we're going to crash from it, it usually means they don't watch much of them. Yeah, I haven't really been paying attention to Meta very much. Meta's up a lot, though. 630s. Wow, dude. Honestly, Meta's such a crazy strong stock, dude. It's surprising. And they have their Llama AI software. Their Llama AI systems, too. And it's a good system, right? I've used Llama AI. It's very good. Very good. Oh, drama's king. Yeah, for sure. And that's why, like my channel does really well for just being me. Like, we do better than a lot of, like, the big networks with 10, 20 people working for them and all that stuff. And it's just me hanging out here. And honestly, I know I could probably do more if I hired some big team and created this big network of people and everything like that. And I get it. I really do. But I'd rather just run it myself. I think it's more organic this way. I think I think I can compete with them regardless, and I think it's just a lot less headaches, just me running this thing myself, right? I've had a lot of people try to be my best freaking buddy, wanting me to share this thing with them. And, you know, over the last, like, 3-4 years, and it's always something where I'm like, nah, like, I'm keeping it just me. And I think it causes some type of drama sometimes where I have people that, you know, I use, like, for content. Like, I pay them a little bit of money, or they want to come on stream, and I'll give them some plugs or something like that, and they start wanting more and more and more. And then when I pull back, they get weird and turn into, like, haters creating fake accounts and stuff. I've seen that a lot. Unfortunately, and people just tend to be strange. But yeah, with that said, it's something I've learned. Like, I'll have guests if it's like somebody big and they want to come on stream, but I usually just try to keep it myself. That's the easiest way for me to run this thing. And I think we've grown a lot this last year. Like, this last year was very good growth for the channel, very good growth. So we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing. Hey, thank you, Nick. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, sir. No, Mitch was one of the only people that I ran this channel with that, like, you know, put in the work and was decent with it. I'm sure I'm kind of hard to work with, though. So, like, you know, Mitch is a friend of mine. Like, I wish him the best. I'm not talking about Mitch when I talk about these people. Mitch is different. Oh, absolutely, Faye. Yeah. No, Pawn's a good mod. Yeah, Pawn's a good mod. Yeah, Mitch has joined the stream a couple times too. I feel bad. I should go hop on one of his streams. It's just been busy. We had Christmas, the holidays, Disney World New Year's trip, my son's birthday. Like, it's just been hectic. I gotta go hop in one of his streams. All right, guys. Yeah, we got 15 minutes. Timer is 1 minute ahead. Hit the live button next to the play button. You're probably delayed about a minute. So hit the live button next to the play button on YouTube. Yeah, I'm not there yet, Nick. You know, I'm just not there yet. I've learned I've learned over time in business to keep it lean if I can. Right? Because paying people creates expectation, and creating expectation, you can clash and it just gets weird. So I keep the team lean. I pay Pawn well. I keep the team lean, and yeah, we just make it easy. But I appreciate the offer. Well, the timer is pretty accurate, actually. Yeah, it's about a minute ahead. You're right. It's about 1 minute ahead. You're correct. I do that to keep it early. I don't want this thing going off right when the data comes out, so I'll just pause it a little bit. How I got here? I mean, I started streaming years ago before everybody else were streaming. That's how we got our foot in the door. We did it before everybody else did. You know, we got our first big boost of views after AMC GameStop, because we were there was maybe like 4 or 5 of us that were covering the GameStop squeeze regularly every day, right? There was 4 or 5 of us that were covering the AMC GameStop stream. And so we went from getting, you know, 200 people to getting like 3,000 people on the big streams. And, you know, at the time we covered like penny stocks a lot. We day traded penny stocks and stuff like that. Eventually we pivoted to like economics, futures, broad market data, finance in general. Like, I don't even claim to be a good day trader. I just want to be realistic for people, right? I want somebody to have somebody they can watch where I'm not out here acting like I'm the greatest ever. I think that's a hard standard. And so that's what my channel has always been about, is like not having super crazy expectations. And we're just we're the market guinea pig. And so, but what I really am is an economist. So I cover economics. I cover economic data, big Fed events, big market events, big finance events, earnings, stuff like that. That's really what my niche is. And so over time, we became one of the go-to sources for the big events, right? Like my regular streams, we might get, 400, 500, 600 people here. But if we have an economic report like Jolts, we'll have over 1,000 here for it. If we have a Fed meeting, we'll have over 4,000 or 5,000 people watching. If we have like a Jerome Powell press conference, Nvidia earnings, sometimes we can have over 10,000 people watching concurrently. So like we're mostly economics, but we trade. I could do better trading, I'm sure. We're just, at this point in time, I'm trying to scale up my size. And yeah, we make good money doing it, you know. I mean, the channel itself has almost 15 million views now, you know, so it's getting there. But with day trading right now, I'm trying to scale up my size. So I want to get comfortable day trading, scaling up size. But again, I don't even claim to be a good day trader. Like I'm much better swing trader and investor, to be honest. And I'd rather just be real with people. I could pretend to be the greatest guru day trader of all time and sell you guys some sleazy course, you know, just kind of reorganizing publicly available content. And I could probably make millions doing it, but I'd rather just be real about it and just tell you guys, I'm the market guinea pig. I'm here. It doesn't matter whether I win or lose. And I think people appreciate and respect that. I got my first member account banned. Good day to me. Oh, you got good date? I don't even remember, bro. I banned you one time. I timed you out for comparing your work here to babysitting. I don't know, man. You know, look, some days you have good days and bad days, bro. Like some days I got good days, and some days I'm in a good mood, and some days I'm in a terrible mood. And you know, I'm a human, you know. Like I'm gonna have good days, bad days, happy days, sad days, frustrated days, laid back days. Like thus is life, and you know, that's how it goes, I think. All right, so we're pulling back here. NASDAQ is currently in this really, really tight sideways range. I'm wondering with the Jolts report coming live today, if we're going to be choppy leading into this report. Now, the report's 30 minutes after the bell. About 40 minutes from now is when the Jolts report and ISM services data comes out. I'm wondering if we're going to be apprehensive, choppy, and sideways leading into this report. Yeah, I used to do push-ups, mustard spoons. Capitalism thrived. A moment in time, you know. End of an era. Whatever big moment thing I can say. All right, guys. So Meta, honestly, I didn't realize Meta was this high, dude. The last time I looked at Meta was at like 550s. Meta's at 630s, pushing towards $700 a share, dude. Meta has gone from 350 at the beginning of this year, or at the beginning of last year, to 630s this year. It's up almost 100%. Meta's crazy, dude. Meta's crazy. What's the PE ratio currently for Meta? That's what I want to know. What's Meta's PE ratio? It's under 30 still, even at these levels. So Meta is making money, right? Like they're making money. If Meta's up almost 100% this year and the PE ratio is still under 30, Meta's making some money. And so good for them, man. I mean, let them do well. I have a newfound respect for Mark since he started training, right? I can respect that. I mean, my ego still thinks I could beat Mark, you know, if we sparred. But hey, you know, he might choke me out in 5 seconds. I don't know. Yeah, my kid's got the Meta Quest 3. Our cleaning lady stole my son's Meta Quest 3. Dude, and my wife, we know the cleaning lady did it, right? But yeah, well, Meta already has my respect, right? I like the jiu-jitsu aspect of it. All right, guys, we got 8 minutes. Oh, yeah, they cleaned me out, bro. Honestly, I'm still frustrated about it, dude. I bought that thing was like $500. This is the big one, too, that had all the hard drive, like the big memory. No, for sure, dude. No, my kid trains. So my son trains. My son's actually pretty good at jiu-jitsu. So, like, I train with my son every weekend. I get him private lessons. He also trains with kids. And so my son's very good at jiu-jitsu. He's very good. I was watching him last week, and he hit a knee slide. He hit a knee slide pass to a north-south choke, and he looked awesome at it. Like, he did a beautiful knee slide to north-south choke on it, and did very, very well. So my son's getting good at BJJ, at training, you know. So I don't want to force him. Like, I've thought about putting him in competitions, but the problem is, like, I want my son to be good, and if he's thrown out there in competition too early and he loses, he might not enjoy it as much and stop learning. Right, I want him to be very good, and the way he's going to get good is if he has fun doing it. And sometimes competitions aren't fun. You know, there's too much pressure, especially for a 10, 11-year-old. So yeah. Well, people ask me about jiu-jitsu and my son, so I mean, we're just responding to what people's questions are. But yeah, honestly, I'm not going to buy meta right here. It's up too much for me, right? Even though the PE ratio is still pretty low, it's up too much, right? I'm not really interested in buying anything right now unless it's been downtrending for a few years. And that might be a bad standard because that means it's kind of weak. Like, I bought Pepsi, but I'm just not trying to buy anything else up here. I'm going to document some support and resistance now that we're up here, though. So let's draw some lines. This level definitely is at least one. And we got some confirmation in that level 2 here, so that's good. We probably got another level to watch right around here. Yeah. All right, so these are the levels right now. Let me look above us. Now, this is a 1-minute chart. I could probably put up a 5-minute chart and use that. Let's look at. I'm going to look at that level there. And maybe put another small level in, like here. Got some isolated highs right here too. I'm gonna put those two close together. All right. And so we got this here. We're sitting tight. All right, I like it. All right, so we got some levels above us that we're paying attention to here. We'll see if we hold. Market opens up in 4 minutes. 4 minutes, chat. Yeah, but Meta's at 630s right now. So if Meta dips, maybe, but. Sorry, I gotta turn my heater off. Let me turn my heater off. Come on. It's getting a little crispy in here. Getting a little hot in here. There's a Nelly joke. There's a Nelly joke in there somewhere. All right, guys. So let's get this ready. All right. Let's do this. Watching Nvidia, watching Meta. Again, we got the Jolts job report. If you look at the yellow tag at the top of the screen, we got Jolts coming out today. We got ISM manufacturing PMI. Microsoft's still pretty strong too. Microsoft's had another great year too, hasn't it? I think Microsoft actually had a reasonable pullback though. Yeah, Microsoft's actually down a little bit. Not the strongest year. Still, I mean, I say not the strongest year, but on a percentage basis for Microsoft, it is. In the last 12 months, Microsoft is up 16%. And so I say it's not strong, but it's still up 16% on the year. So last year, that is. Yeah, so vote on the poll. Let me know how you feel. We got 68% think Jolts and ISM PMI is going to have a bullish response. only jiu-jitsu? We do a little bit of like Muay Thai training. My daughter really loves Muay Thai, so she's kind of the striker of the bunch. Like, she likes striking and Muay Thai and sparring and hitting pads and stuff like that. So, but both of them have learned. My daughter's learned karate and Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu, so she's probably the most well-rounded out of all of us. I've done a little bit of Muay Thai sparring and training, but I'm mostly jiu-jitsu. Again, I'm almost blue belt, and then my son is kind of the same. He's mostly jiu-jitsu with some striking. All right, guys, so we're pushing up to 21.79s here. 21.79s. Let's see if this level holds. We bounced right there. We also have that 200 exponential level that we're watching closely here, guys. We got less than a minute now, less than a minute before the opening bell here. Yeah, no, there's some cleaning ladies that are good. I'm not. But this was something that, like, this is something that they very clearly did. It's not something like, and they brought in like 4 or 5 different people, right? Like helpers. The helpers are the ones that did it. I don't think it was the main lady, unfortunately. But we knew where it was. We knew where we put it, and then it's just gone. We searched the whole house. It's gone. Like, not just that, but the controllers for the old VR headset are also missing. And so whoever did it didn't understand that the controllers didn't work for the one that they took, right? So it's somebody that didn't really understand VR headsets. Then they probably just grabbed it. I don't know, man. Again, they still work for us, right? Like, it's not even like we changed anything, so... but yeah, anyways, NASDAQ broke over that big support or resistance level. Nvidia pulling down a little bit. Let's see if it drags the market down. We're watching, I'm going to watch Tesla. I'm going to watch Meta. I'm going to watch Apple today. Apple down a little bit on the day when most of tech is up after the Nvidia conference. Let's see if Apple drives things back. Look at that big upwick at the opening bell. We're going to wait at least 5 minutes to trade here, though. At least 5. 30 minutes, chat. Never listen to these scammers. Jean Betty, she's trying to scam people. Do not listen to that. They will steal. They will fish and steal your data. All right, so we're at 150s here for Nvidia. 152s now. We're under 152s. A little bit of red action. It's not a surprise that Nvidia's falling down at least a little bit. It's up a huge amount. A huge amount. I would watch like 150. Big psychological support level, this big green line right here. I'd watch that because typically profit taking is going to happen eventually, right? It's an inevitable thing. Like, we're going to get profit taking. So yeah, where's gold at? Yeah, gold making a rebound back up here. NASDAQ's coming back too. Apple's up. Nvidia's retracing a little bit here as well. We're still waiting. Yeah, no, for sure. All right, guys, we got less than 30 minutes. The report goes live at 10 a.m. in 27 minutes or so. All right, so here goes Apple pushing up, Nvidia bouncing back up a little bit as well. Again, we're going to let the first 5 minutes pass after the open to really trade. All right, look at Apple. Apple's coming back. Nvidia's still falling, though, and this is kind of... The market's following Nvidia right now after CES 2025 yesterday. We're 3.5 minutes into the day or so, about 3, really. Andrew, I have no idea UK time. It's in 25 minutes. 25 minutes. Apple's pushing up though. Look at that. Nvidia's still falling down though. 4 big red candles at the open. Look at Apple on the bottom and then Nvidia on the top. So it's one of the reasons we're getting like big up wicks and down wicks choppiness is because 2 big blue chip stocks are inversely moving. Yeah. All right, so look at this big red action still. So again, Nvidia dipping down to 150. I'm watching 150 here. Apple tapped that previous closing price. Tapped it. I'm going to start to buy down here, guys. A little risky. We're going to take 1 contract and we're going to add to 2. And we're going to leave it here. See if we can retrace some of this here. Take a little time. A little pop up and then a big downward push. I'm going to add some more here. We're going to take 3 contracts. I'm trying to trade larger. There we go. We got a bad fill on some of this. There we go. Much better. All right, we're kind of flat now. I'm going to add to this green position here if we can. I'm not really liking this. I'm going to cut half of it there and just protect the trade. We're kind of flat on the day now. I was hoping we get a rebound at 150, but we just didn't. So again, kind of flat on the day. We'll give this one a second though, let it work, but I'm not really loving it. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut that. So we're flat on the day. We'll try to maybe enter another position down here. Dude, there's Nvidia's $50 bounce. That's what we wanted right here. We told you guys 150. I'm gonna buy it down here again and maybe add some more. 2 contracts now. There we go. There we go. So took a chunk of that off. Look at Nvidia bounce at 150. I told you guys 150 would work. 2 contracts again. We took half off again just to protect the trade, so it's not too influential. See if we can get another bounce back. We can add another one to it too if we want, but this is some brutal red action here. There's 2 contracts now. See if we bounce back up. All right, so we just took half off there. Still flat on the day or so. Could be worse, to be honest. Looks like Nvidia wants to bounce, but all right, now we're green. See, now Nvidia's right at 150 though. I'm gonna cut this and get out. So again, we're flat on the day still. We'll see if we can find another move. Nvidia's right at that 150 level that we wanted. So if we retrace back down to the bottom here, we'll add some more. Look, there's the big 150 bounce that I was looking for too. Oh well. Was correct about the TA. Bad trade management on my end. But it builds confidence. We were right about the 150 level. We called it to a T here, so we'll be all right. I'm wondering if we're going to get choppiness leading into the open. Or leading into... Yeah, so I mean, we got the 150 bounce. We just managed it poorly. See if we hold 150s. We'll add to this here. One contract. We're still trading pretty light and pretty small. We're gonna cut most of this now too. The problem is it just dumped under 150 quickly. And I'll let this test 150, but we're not gonna go too deep into it. If we get some positive signs, we might, but the issue I don't want to see is I don't want to see this breakdown. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut it. I don't want to see this breakdown under 150 and continue for Nvidia. Nvidia is just giving it back up on profit taking. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and ban Mirrored. He's almost always negative. He was negative yesterday. He just seems to be looking for things wrong. And it's all good, you know. Good day to you, sir. We'll be all right. Yeah, we're down less than $100 today. So yesterday we made over 100, so we'll be all right. We're still green in the last 2 days. There's just a lot of red action we weren't expecting. I mean, I was expecting some sell-off because profit taking. Nvidia's up a huge amount. I wasn't expecting this big of a sell-off. And now we're just going to try to catch the bottom if we can. But we're now also under the 200 exponential, under 150. Like, we'll buy some stuff again if Nvidia can catch back up over 150. But until then, we got to just wait. Hey, thanks, Sam. Yeah, Nvidia's just up a huge amount. I'm guessing people are just taking profit. All right, so we got one contract here. See if we can pop back up and catch something. We got a nice little green movement here. Let's see if it continues back up. All right, so we just made another $20. It's kind of a flat day. Like, we took our risk at the opening bell. We did have a strategy. Our strategy was this, right? Like, we thought Nvidia would bounce at 150. And we had a big pullback to 150. And then we bounced a little bit. And we thought this was the start of a rebound. But instead, it just kind of continued down. Which happens. Like, I'm not going to be right every day or perfect every day. So, we'll be fine. Jolts is at 10 a.m. So, Jolts is in 19 minutes. I don't know. I still think we might. If we are choppy leading into Jolts, we might see something like this, right? Where we go up and then down and then up and then down. Like, I don't know how choppy we're going to be, though. We've already broken down a lot. And so we might be big range but choppy. It really depends on what Nvidia does, I think. Nvidia is leading the way this morning after the CES event yesterday is what it is, right? Like, I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think the whole market's following Nvidia. And Nvidia has dipped. It's retesting 150, but my hands are kind of off right now. Again, we're mostly flat today. We're down like $50. And so, while I'm not happy about losing $50, it's also not like a crazy big loss. Let's see if we bounce at this spot here. If we pull back to here, we might buy it. Like, we're gonna pivot to one contract trading for now. But we need a dip. I'd like to see this down here first before we buy it. I'm worried about Nvidia rejecting 150 though. So if it rejects 150, we might not buy it at all and just wait it out. Yeah, Hamza. I'm not really gonna. It's too hard for me to check those meme coin symbols or whatever that is, and so, you know, Just can't mess with that, unfortunately. So here's the 200 exponential, and we're at 150 here. There might be a short opportunity, but it depends on what Nvidia does to 150 here. Tesla, where's Tesla at? I see gold. It pulled back a little bit, but it's still pumped up a lot today. Tesla at 413s. Yeah, so Tesla is ripping up. That might drag stuff up too. Apple's pushing it up as well. And so again, my hands are off right now. I'm just waiting for some type of setup that I like. I don't really see much right now. I see a lot of strength in Apple and a lot of strength in Nvidia, but I also see a milestone level in the 200 exponential above us, which makes me less likely to jump in right now. I need to see confirmation somewhere first. Tesla's hitting the higher pre-market. I think it's the higher pre-market. Yeah, it's the higher pre-market. All right, so we broke up this level. I'm gonna short here. One contract small. We got that support resistance level above us, so we'll see if we can play it. If not, we're trading small, so it'll be all right. Kind of flat on this. Looking for maybe a pullback to the 200 exponential is what I'm looking for, but it's also looking a little strong. I don't really want to get caught in this either. I'm going to get out there. I think this looks strong. I was looking for it to hold this resistance level that we drew, but it didn't. Oh, Look at Apple rip up too. Nvidia broke, Tesla broke the higher pre-market. So we did show that choppy trend. With 15 minutes left too. We got 15 minutes left, chat. Are you guys red or green today? I'm red, but it's not bad. Now we're pulling back to that 150. I will look for like a cup and handle pattern first. I'm being a little bit more weary though, just because like I don't really like trading too heavy ahead of this economic report. So maybe we'll find some like range driven stuff. Or maybe we'll bounce right here. 2 contracts. All right, so we just made another $30 right back. So we made our $30 back. There's that 200 exponential bounce that we caught. We're kind of choppy right now, though, to be honest. We're slowing down some here. Nvidia 150 plus. Yeah, Nvidia is testing 150s right now, and that's a big milestone level. So we're just kind of letting it test it. It keeps moving over it, which is a bullish sign, and below it, which is a bearish sign. And so because it's not really picking a direction there, I'm not really the most confident. Although I do see Tesla at the previous close. I think we might go up here, but I might be wrong. I do see Tesla moving up from the previous closing price. And so part of me wants to go long here, but yeah, see, there's the upward movement. Yeah. And there goes Nvidia testing 150 again. So there's the big bounce that we thought we might get. Again, though, with trades today, I just got to kind of slow down a little bit. I don't want to risk too much. Yeah, green is good. Plug, basic. Green is good. IBM here. Where's Bitcoin at now? Bitcoin down a little on the day still. IBM. See, I just don't know what IBM does anymore, though, is the problem, right? Like, IBM used to be computer, but now I just don't know what they do. Looking at Tesla as well. Yeah, trading is one of those things where if you do well, you look like a genius. If you do poorly, you look like a gambler, right? And it really is one of those things where you can see the rookie traders, because anybody that critiques one person's results daily, like if somebody loses, they're critical of them, they're usually pretty new. They're pretty rookie traders. Variance is real. Traders are going to have good days, bad days, strong days, weak days, profitable days, losing days. It's an inevitable thing, guys. So we're trying to be disciplined and just kind of hold off right now, just because we're kind of choppy. And the range isn't big enough to have an edge in attacking the choppy range right now. Like if we had a big choppy range where, and I guess we do. So like we have this, right? And by this logic here, we should go down more, right? And then back up more. But it's not confirming it enough for me to feel confident enough attacking it. We also only have 10 minutes left until we have the economic report dropping. So the Jolts report drops in 10 minutes. And so that might throw this whole sideways range off. And so for me, I'm just trying to trade small. Yeah, I know they do servers now, David, but I just don't understand it as much. And so I try to trade what I know, and I don't know IBM anymore. It's not the same that it used to be. And again, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. We're day trading on Top Step. Great way to hedge your risk. If you pass the test, you get a 50K funded account, 90% split. If you fail it, you only lose the monthly subscription. So it really teaches you how to trade under pressure, but you don't have as much pressure as risking thousands of dollars funding your own account. And so there's just less risk. And if you're a good enough trader, if you pass it, you get a 90% split. You get a 50K funded account, 90% split on the base one. You get to keep your first 10,000 in profit as well. So it's similar to funding your own account. The risk is just much less. And if you were going to pay for real-time data in a demo account outside of it, it would cost about the same, in the same ballpark as $50 a month or something. So it makes sense. And in the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold. The big edge here is zero commission, guys. So you have zero commission, literally zero commission. I can make $13 and still net profit. So if you sign up, use Top Step X, because that's where the zero commission thing lies. And again, remember, guys, I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Do not copy me. Not an investment professional. If you copy me, you'll probably lose. Top 3 worst trader. Understand CFTC 4.41. And yeah, understand all this stuff, guys. All right, guys, we got less than 8 minutes left. Less than 8 minutes left now. Market's very flat over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes. Market's very flat, very choppy. I'm going to wait until this report drops and then hopefully get in something. Buying pressure? Yeah, I mean, I think right now it's kind of in the middle. I think pre-market was certainly a strong session driven by Nvidia, but at this point in time, Nvidia sold off a little bit from profit taking from that big event, and now we're just kind of flat and choppy. All right, guys, 7 minutes. All right, so again, look at that rejection right at that 795 level we talked about. So again, we got 6 minutes left, chat. 6 minutes left. Be ready. No, there's no commissions futures. All right, so we're going down here a little bit, chat. We're moving down some. Again, very choppy. We got 6 minutes left. A little bit less than 6 minutes. We got about 5 minutes left here, chat. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. I'm pretty sure we're in sub-only mode. Yeah, we also have ISM Services PMI expected at 53.4%. The Jolts report is expected at 7.7 million. Let me make sure this is right. I'm pretty sure it's 7.7. I'm 90% sure it's 7.7. So let's check. Today is Tuesday. We had European CPI come out. Came in as expected, basically flat. Services PMI expected at 53.4. Jolts expected at 7.73. So we'll see what we get. Again, last time it came in at 7.74, right around 7.7. And so, again, this is economic strength or weakness through job openings. It's essentially how many businesses are hiring and that influence on everything. All right, guys, we got 4.5 minutes left. 4.5 minutes. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you hit the like button. Let's get over 100 likes if we can. I don't know how many we have right now. Yeah, Tesla is up there. Very choppy and sideways, chat. We got 4 minutes exactly left. Guys, 4 minutes exactly. My timer's a little bit early, but that's all right. Got about 800 here. All right, guys, 3.5 minutes left. All right, give me your last minute predictions. Bullish or bearish action, right? Bull or bear in chat. You can also put the emoji for bull or bear in chat. We got about 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left, guys. Market's slowing down drastically leading into this report. Although Nvidia is falling down here. Nvidia is at 148 right now. The NASDAQ might follow suit. Let's see if it does. But yeah, bull or bear, guys. Bull or bear. Leave it in chat. Bull or bear. We got 3 minutes left. Bear, bear. Bull, bear. Yeah, so we're already up a lot. And so who knows how the market's going to react. Let's see. We got bull, bear, bull, bear, bull, bear. Pretty even. Pretty flat. Looking at our poll numbers, we got 66% are bullish, 34% are bearish. 2.5 minutes left. Chat, 2.5 minutes left. We got about 900 here. Let's see what we get. You guys ready? Market's flushing a little bit leading into this report. Interesting. Market is flushing down some here, chat. Weird. Bear, bull, AF. Bro, will it be up or down? I don't know, dude. Nobody does. Are you going to stream from the beach again? Maybe. I don't know. All right, guys. Less than 2. All right, guys. Less than 2 minutes. Time is ticking down. This is a big report, too. Look at Nvidia fall. So, at this point in time, we're seeing some bear action right now leading into this report. I'm going to put gold up as well. Now, we could either exacerbate the bearish action or we could save us from this bearish action depending on what the report shows. 1.5 minutes left. A little bit less than that, actually. This timer's a little bit early, so we're going to take this timer off. We got 1 minute and 15 seconds. jolted. All right, guys. 1 minute. It's time. We got 1 minute until the report drops here, guys. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on the stream. The reason we get thousands here, or at least the reason we get 1,000 plus here usually for this report, is because we cover it quickly. And so we are ready for this report. Expected at 7.7 million for Jolts, 54.3 or 53.4% for services. Let's do it here, guys. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. We are ready. $20 seconds, guys. 20 seconds. $10 seconds here, chat. 10 seconds. We now have over 1,000 people watching too. 5 seconds, guys. Let's see what we get. 7.73 million is expected. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now's the report going live right now. All right, numbers came in higher than expected for Jolts and ISM PMI data. Stronger economy than expected. A stronger economy than expected. Over 8 million job openings. Over 8 million. It came in at 8.1 million versus 7.7 million expected. ISM PMI data. ISM non-manufacturing PMI data showed stronger services sector than expected. At non-manufacturing PMI at 54.1 versus 53.5 expected. Everything's showing a stronger economy than expected, but I think the market wants rate cuts. So we're actually dropping down a little bit here. Sometimes the first move is the wrong move, but the jobs market showed stronger than expected at 8.1 mil versus 7.73 million expected. Again, a stronger jobs number than expected at 8.09 million, 8.1 million versus 7.7 expected. So we'll put this up on screen here, chat, at the top. But, yeah, Jolts showed stronger numbers than expected. You can now see the new numbers at the top. Jolts, 8.1 million versus expected 7.7 expected here. So stronger Jolts number. And the market honestly had a big red candle from this. So, yeah, weaker market reaction to strong economy. And I'm guessing this is because the market wants rate cuts. And so what this data shows is less of a need to cut rates. It shows a stronger economy, potentially more inflation fears is what this also shows, right? But yeah, market has dropped substantially on this number, on the Jolts report. Again, you can see another data that might be relevant is ISM services prices came in well above expected at 64.4. Well above expected at 64.4 for ISM prices for services. Again, higher Jolts, higher services PMI, and higher prices. And the market is not loving this. It's correcting a lot from the big increase that we saw. I'm going to start to buy this now. We're going to take one contract here. See if we can go green on the day. All right, just made a little $15 there. I'll take it. We got out quick, though. We might buy this back here, too. All right, one contract. So we get another little pop here. See if we can get in here and get some type of rebound. Market's dropped a lot. Who knows how much it will drop. All right, so we just made another $30 there. Another $30 there. We're flat on the day now. Let's see if we can make it back after this data release. Starting to rebound some. Sometimes the first move is the wrong move, but this is a big move on the downside here. Yeah, the market wants more rate cuts, lower rates, and this means it's less likely to have lower rates. It means it's more probable that we're gonna pause next at the end of this month. I'm wondering if this probability is gonna really change too much from it. We're still at 90-10, basically on the CME watch tool, 90-10. Yeah, maybe the first move is wrong. I don't know though. All right, so we're long again right here. We're trying to go green on the day. Let's see if we can. All right, we just made another $25. So doing good here, guys. Doing good. Kind of scalping right now. I don't really trust it, to be honest. We've had a lot of bearish action. Let's try again. We can now take more risk. Now we will add to this if we dip more, but I'm hoping we don't. I'm hoping we rebound strong here and keep pushing, but here we go. All right, we are now, I think, almost. All right, there's a red action coming through. Let's see if we add some more here, take some risk. All right, we got 2 contracts here. We'll take up to 3 now. See, I liked it at first, but I don't know if we like this now. Let's see what Nvidia does. Nvidia is going to lead the way. Right at these lows. All right, so we're going to try some more here. We got 6 contracts, and I'm trying to scale up in size in this account. So just put that into context here. I'm trying to scale up my size. We're kind of flat where we were. It's not looking good though. I'm gonna have to get out. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut it. We got this last little piece though. We'll see if this can bounce back. I've been trying to get better at scaling up my size. But yeah. That's better. Let's see where we're at now. We're kind of back to where we were, so we made a lot and then we lost it back. It really just depends on what Nvidia does right here. We're back up now. All right, we took most of that off and locked in some profit here. And again, we're kind of back to where we were. Just made another $30 or so. We'll see if we add some on a pullback. We'll add, try to scale in. 4 contracts now. There we go, took half off. Took another piece. And again, we're trading on Top Step's funded account program right now. We're trading on Top Step X. I'm going to get out there. So we actually made a chunk back just now. Definitely not green on the day, but yeah, I was hoping the first move was the wrong move, but that's just not what we got. And again, I'm on Top Step X right now. This is a 50K funded account. Listen, if you're going to try to day trade, try Top Step. There's no PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies. I tend to think we're going to bounce back, so I'm still holding on to an optimistic position here. But I think I'm just going to leave it with 1 contract and try to make some more back from it. In the futures market, there's no PDT rule. So I can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold. Patterns are very similar to blue chip stock patterns, but there's no PDT restriction. So I can day trade short, buy market, sell market. You can see how similar it is to day trading stocks, but you can get involved and there's less risk. So if you lose, it's not the end of the world. The base one's $50. They give you a demo. They test your skill with it. If you pass the test with the demo, they fund you with a regular account between 50K up to 150K with a 90% split, and they've paid out almost 200 million in the last 4 years. They've been around for over 12 years. They're the most legit one in the world, and it's the best of both worlds. It's limited risk, but if you pass it, you get a 50K funded account, 90% split, right? And so you can, if you're good enough, you can then withdraw and fund your own account. And I think it just makes sense, right? And I think if you sign up, use Top Step X because there's 0 commission. So I can lose $10, 0 commission. I can make $16, no commission. I can make $11, no commission. And so that's the big edge where I can trade relatively small with micros. Like, even though we lost today, we're down very small amount, like versus what we would be if we had to pay commissions. And so I think it just makes sense. And again, they are an affiliate of mine. I'm biased, of course, but Top Step X is the biggest edge in funding, in my opinion. If you want to check them out, I'll put the link up. They're an affiliate of mine. I'm biased. If you want to check them out, here's the link. Yeah, Top Step's the only way. Yesterday, minus 6,500 on one account. Today, 2,500. Hey, good job. Yeah, I'm trying to catch this bottom, and I think we're going to bottom eventually. It's just hard to catch, to be honest. I'm going to get in here. And we might take 2 more contracts here and try to... Just depends on how long we start bottoming out here. I think we could bounce, but I have to be patient enough to wait for it. And I've been using this account to try to get used to scaling up. Like, we have another account on standby. We are going to be on Top Step TV today as well. So we are going to be on Top Step TV today. Man, I looked at my phone for a second. No, Top Step's great, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut this. At least one contract of it and let the rest work unless it retraces back up here. We took our risk today. I'm getting better at trading larger size though, so that's good. You know, we're kind of flat over the last 2 days, so it could be worse, to be honest. Yeah, there we go. Are we lagging? No, we're not lagging. We're not dropping frames. Let me exit out of some of this stuff here. There we go. All right, so the Jolts report is out. Oh, the disclaimer's still up. My bad, guys. I just put this up. Sorry. I just realized it's still up. I got one contract here. I'm going to see what I can do. I want to give it time to bounce back. The red action's been kind of slow and steady, though. But the jobs market was good. The labor market was good. It didn't look weak. And so I do want to give this a chance. We're going to keep just one contract, though. Risk off. Yeah, I'm waiting to see if we can find a bottom. But, I wouldn't necessarily say we're doing good today as well, you know. Right, we're back up some. How you guys doing today? Are y'all doing better than I am? I'm definitely red. I know it was freezing on my end of the day. In Texas. All right, so we're popping back up a little bit here. Yeah, I mean, futures trader. Like, I see you talking a lot today, but I've never seen you before, brother. And so it seems like you created a new account somewhere. So I'm just not really sure where I've seen you before. All right, is this the bottom? I'm hoping it is. But again, we got one contract, and what we're going to do is add to this as a long-term trade, right? If it goes in my favor, great. It will add a little piece to it. If not, it's going to be small. All right, so then it's coming back down. Yeah, the problem is Nvidia's in this really tight range now. Look at this range where Nvidia's gone down, up, down, up. And I want to give it a second to find a bottom here. I'm watching gold too. But I don't want to add to it a losing trade, so I'm just going to leave one here. Yeah, so guys, so look, I'm going to ban this guy. This guy was a guy who became really obsessive over the channel. He would like message Pawn and like try to talk Pawn into like, I don't even know what his end goal was. He got really hyper obsessive. And remember how I said we've had people that like have gotten really kind of weird and obsessive. This is one of them. You know, he would like message Pawn and try to talk bad about me, or like he would just do all kind of craziness. To a point where it got really obsessive and started making like me really uncomfortable, and so I had to ban him, right? So as soon as he says, "Hey, it's Fishing Trader," good day to you, sir. Yeah. And so again, we're looking to see if we can find a bottom here. Nvidia's starting to push up, but we're not going to hold this forever, and this will probably be our last trade. Yeah, incoming new account tomorrow, probably, right? I'm pretty sure that was him, though, Pawn, right? Like, yeah, it was one of them. I'm pretty sure it was him, but I might be wrong. I don't freaking know. Yeah, the report showed a stronger economy than expected. I was hoping we'd find a bottom here, but that's just not what we're doing, unfortunately. Yeah, too much free time, unfortunately. And just people just get strange, man. Like they get odd, they get weird. Like they get obsessive if like, you know, like what, like usually the trend goes like this, right? Where they become absolutely obsessive. And then when I start to pull away from that because it's uncomfortable, then they get even weirder with it, right? It's really like the stalker, like what stalkers do, right? Then they get even weirder with it. And then when you don't want to work with them, or when you don't want to pay them, or when you don't want to hire them, then they just turn into crazy vengeance, like, you know, strange people. Yeah, and honestly, what's even weirder is like Pawn knew who it was before he said, "Hey, I'm fishing." Pawn said, "Hey, this guy talks like Fishing Trader used to talk." So, oh man, all right, yeah, it's time for me to cut it. We gave ourselves a chance today, but definitely not our day. We'll see if we can make a better day tomorrow. We will be back later on Top Step TV. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I think the market doesn't want new. I think the market doesn't want rate cuts. I think the market doesn't want rate cuts. So that's where all the red action is coming from today. But we'll see, guys. We'll see. Yeah, I'm out of the trade. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. Listen, if you want to check out Top Step, link is in the description. I'm glad I had Top Step today, because if not, I would have lost much more with a real account. If you want to try them out, here's the link. Great way to help support the channel. No PDT in futures. Great way to test your skill. And if you lose, it's not the end of the world. It's a great medium of like some pressure, but not thousands in pressure, where if you lose, you're down thousands. If you pass it, you get a 50K funded account, 90% split, real-time data. They've paid out over $150 million in the last few years. It's just a great way to learn how to trade. And if you do use them, 0 commission on Top Step X through my link. 0 commission on Top Step X through my link. Here it is. Great way to help support us. Thanks so much for the love. Remember, do not copy me. If you copy me today, you'll probably lost. Do not copy me. Not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trade responsibly, guys. Because remember, I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. Do not copy me, guys. Hey, we'll be on Top Step TV a little bit later. So we will be on Top Step TV later on today. I'll see you guys then. Y'all good luck. Y'all be safe. See you guys later.